Hi to all you survivors out there. It's me, Prepper Zan, back again. This is Thursday, February the 25th, reporting here in Houston, Texas about the current conditions and the current state of this city, as well as the state and the country. I think I'm going to title this When America is Falling. And the reason why I say that, because every time we turn around, it's something else going on. And it'd be unbelievable. And I do believe that the politicians is helping America to fail, because a lot of these agendas are pushed through these political parties, whether it be Republican, whether it be Democrat, whether it be independent. They're all these agendas are coming through these politicians. If you guys will pay attention, then you start peeping the game of what they're doing and how they're going about doing it. Now, and then I also want to ask you guys, since this Texas winter storm, what are you doing, or what have you done differently than what you were doing before? Because as I stated in so many of my previous videos, this was something I couldn't have imagined as a prepper. That your pipes could freeze. Even if you had the generators, even if you had all the food, if you had all the water, that your pipes could freeze, that your roof could cave in, that your whole home would be destroyed. Like so many the cases that we're seeing here in our city and in our state now. All these different things, how to properly prepare by making sure you have homeowners insurance, flood insurance. So a lot of these people with damaged homes who are now homeless, if they did not have insurance, they're in trouble. They're at the mercy of FEMA. They're at the mercy of the Red Cross, which I haven't even heard about the Red Cross getting in at all. Then they're telling you to assess the damages by making sure you have pictures, making sure you have the receipts, and all these different types of things. And this is why I tell you guys, I don't store all my preps at one place. Now, if their house is destroyed, tell me, how does this make any sense? If their home is destroyed now, and all the content was inside of their home, including pictures, including receipts of things that they bought for their home or whatever, how do they have access to it now? It's gone. So these are the type of games that these people play with us. Because I told you before, everything is about money, money, money. Just greed, greed, greed. And then they lie. Oh my God, they lie so much. So if y'all believe everything you hear on that TV, I want to say you deserve what happens to you. But I'm not going to take it there, because that's not fair to say that. Because I get really offended when people, especially a lot of preppers in the prep community, all those people should have been prepared. A lot of people are not knowledgeable of how crooked and how wicked this system is, especially when they did not grow up to be preppers, when they did not grow up to go against the status quo. A lot of people don't have that type of access to the information. A lot of people don't have the internet. So that's why I always encourage you guys, train your children, teach your children how not to, how not to follow the system and their ways of doing things, because they don't care about us. These people are wicked and evil, and their agendas are wicked and evil. Y'all think they care about our kids? If they cared about your kids, guess what? They would have them go to school for 18 years and then college for 4 to teach them how to be a slave. To teach them how to be a slave to the system, to work at their jobs. They'll start entrepreneurship in elementary. I started teaching my child how to be an entrepreneur in elementary. Now she has internet businesses, very successful. I raised my child. A lot of people start tripping when the virus first hit, because they didn't know what to do about their children and school. My daughter was homeschooled most of her 18 years. I sacrificed. I had to have home-based businesses. I struggled a lot. And now, look, she's doing great. When she turned 18, I was still trying to encourage her. I want you to go to college, because she graduated top honors in the state of Texas. She graduated like the top 4 and was in the honor society, because I had her on the internet, learning everything about the internet. Went and bought a MacBook Pro. That was like almost $2,000. This was like 4 or 5 years ago. Let her learn everything on the internet. And then I didn't also only just teach her like school curriculum. I taught her how to be an entrepreneur. I taught her how to be a prepper. So when we listen to the system and we raise our children to listen to the system, it damages the generations. Because then you're going to have generation after generation after generation living on the grid, depending on the system, pumping all their money into the system, and nothing is being left for their children and grandchildren and grandchildren. We have got to stop this cycle. It's a bad cycle. It's terrible. These people don't give a doggone about us. You see how they just turned off the grid on us out here in Texas, like we were animals. So many people lost their animals. So much of the livestock are damaged and they've deceased. So much of the crops and the plants. This is going to affect this state and this country for a very, very, very long time. And I hope you guys have been paying attention to the videos that I upload, because I don't want to just come here and talk about what's going on and what I see and what I feel. I want you to hear from other people, from other sources. Not only people who are native Houstonians, but people who are native Texans who are here in this disaster. The next video that I'm going to upload is an elderly lady. I think she's in her 60s maybe. She's not that quite elder, but she's up there. She's in her 60s. She lost everything. She was in her house and the pipes had bursted all over the place. Water started excessively coming from the roof. The roof came in on her. And on top of that, it was very, very cold. The lights were out. She thought she was going to die. She didn't have any insurance. So then the politicians, they set up some kind of relief fund. Most of the people won't get it. That stuff is pocketed. It's pocketed. Or maybe some of their friends might get it. They might have to help a couple of people and put it on the news so it can make it seem like they've done something. A lot of this stuff, a lot of these people cause these disasters so they could be the solution. The same thing with that virus, I believe. I think they cause these things to happen so they can come up with a solution and they could pocket billions and billions and trillions of dollars. This is what I feel. It's really obvious. So while America is falling, the country's falling, what are you guys doing to prepare yourselves? I would like to know in the comment section, what are your plans now? And I will tell you mine. What are you doing now that's different? Are you storing more water? Are you getting a Berkey, a water filtration system, water purification tablets, a lot of more Clorox? What are you doing different now that you're hearing about the situation with the Texas winter storm that you weren't doing before? Do you have a sense of urgency to teach your children how to prep? What are you doing different now? Are you looking for land? Are you storing up more food? Are you growing some vegetables? Even if you're not in the country, if you're in the city, you can start growing vegetables right there in your house. Are you watching YouTube videos and tutorials on how to properly grow your vegetables? On how to secure your pipes just in case a freeze occur in your area? How to properly turn off the water and let that water leak out the faucets and let it keep your faucets on, but turn off the source of the water. That way you don't lose your entire home. I would really like to know, because this should be a lesson for us to learn, not just to get commentary and be like, oh wow, that's awful. Oh wow, I don't want that to happen to me. Prepping is about being prepared. So I'd like to talk to you guys about a couple more things. I'm not going to keep you as early. As I stated, they want you to take pictures of your house. So right now, take pictures of your home. Do an assessment. If you have receipts of things you bought for your house as far as plumbing is concerned, anything dealing with your house, put those receipts, organize those things. You know, if you can't get homeowners and flood insurance is very, very cheap. Um, it's very cheap. I know people who get flood insurance for like $200 a year, and if you're paying it by the month, it's what come out to like maybe $20 or less. I have no idea. Um, and then the water. See, our bodies as human beings, we can go days without food. I mean, one time I went like a couple of months without food. I was doing a fast, a juicing fast. I was okay. I had to hydrate a lot. But water, your body can't go past 3 days without water. The water here smells like fish. You guys, and then on the news, they're telling people, because people are constantly complaining about the smell of the water, because they're telling people, okay, the water's okay for you to use. See, these people don't be want to get sued. They want to make it seem like, okay, we came and rescued everybody. We came and saved the day. We turned the water back on. Mind you, a lot of people still don't have water. So people are complaining. The water is terrible, you guys. The water is terrible here. So on the news, they say, oh, it's okay. It's just some things that they're putting in the water to disinfect the water that makes it smell like fish. You guys, I'm so paranoid because you go so accustomed, to doing things out of habit. So quite naturally, after we use the bathroom, we wash our hands before we. Oh, I hope you guys would. Before you cook, you wash your hands. And so when I do these things and I turn on the faucet, I'm so paranoid till I still use Clorox water in my water bottles. I'm using up so much water. I don't trust it. And every day I'm preparing to get out of the city. It's a lot. Like I told you guys, I'm a single lady. So I'm doing everything on my own. As I stated in previous videos, after that whole thing occurred last week, a day or two later, I went and got my preps. So now I'm having to put the preps back into a storage. Then this is why I keep it in a storage unit at a friend's house. They have a container because it's like I said, until I become stable and build and at least put a mobile home on my property, that's what it would be for me. And so now I'm getting prepared to start building or try on my property, even if I can get an RV on there for now. And with the properties, you guys, when you're going to look for land, I know I'm talking about a lot of stuff, and I just want to help people however I can with whatever knowledge that I can. Um, One of the properties that I did purchase had a lot of trees on it. And I did not know that when you get property land with trees, it's very expensive to cut those trees down because the city, the jurisdiction, they don't want you just bringing anybody or you yourself going in there cut it down in fear of it might destroy the lights, because they in Texas, I know everywhere else they have like the power lines, in fear that it might destroy the power lines because these trees are very, very tall. But what I did find out and discover, if the trees are worth anything, you could get a local tree company to come assess the trees. If they're worth anything, they'll cut them down for free, and you'll also make a profit from it. So now I'm having to figure out what to do with the trees and come in and get people to assess the trees, tree companies, to see if they're worth anything. And this is good knowledge to know. And with all the trees, you don't want to cut all of them down. And if you do cut all of them down, you want to keep some of the trees. Even if you're cutting them up or whatever, you could do a lot of different things um, with the trees. So I'm doing that. I'm looking into how much would it cost to build a well on my property. And I'm just everything dealing with being self-reliant, getting back out of the city. That's what I'm working on now. Because now they're talking about all these new variants. They're gonna. I think this is now the time for the viruses because they're making so much money, and this country and all around the world is just full of greed and money, and they're making all the money with these vaccinations and all these different things with the gear, with the masks and the gloves. So I'm afraid, not afraid like literally, but precautious that they're going to continue these viruses. So you guys also take vitamins, take your vitamin D's and your vitamins. You might want to seek your physician of what type of vitamins are good for your body and your blood and your DNA or whatever. And stay healthy, continue to work out, continue to prep, and just keep going, because God does not give us the spirit of fear but of love and a sound mind. We have to keep going. You guys keep going. Don't let this stuff stress you out, because that's what the enemy wants to do. Want us to stress out and be upset and be worried. Don't be worried. Be prepared. Be prepared. And let me see if there are any other points that I wanted to point out to you guys. That the only reason why they're doing something about this Texas winter storm, the casualties, and what happened with the grid. As we hear on the news, a lot of those people from ERCOT have resigned and quit, or either got fired. A lot of people, a lot of them weren't even from Texas. They don't even live in Texas, so they didn't give a doggone about the grid going down. But the reason why it's an outrage, because it affected politicians. It affected people who are millionaires and billionaires here in Texas. This is supposed to be like the energy provider of, we're supposed to be like an energy capital, have our own energy here. And so this is why. But if you can just imagine, if that wouldn't have happened to powerful people, how many people who are really less fortunate would just be going without? Don't let that be you. Don't let that be you. I tell you guys in every video, I do have prepping supplies on zanharrow.com. You don't ever have to get it from me. Just make sure you get these things. Please make sure you get these things. And if you like the commentary that I'm able to bring you and the videos, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And you guys stay blessed and not stressed. And please leave comments. Let's talk. You guys have you've really helped me during this time. I'm not going to get emotional, because a lot of you know this really affected me, and I'm going to see a therapist behind it. It's important to be able to talk about what we feel and what we're going through. I'm going to see a therapist, me and my child, because she had a breakdown last week, and I try to be strong for her, and I did show her how it was affecting me. But let's talk about it. And I was feeling very lonely until you guys started coming and subscribing to the channel and talking to me and telling me thank you for the videos and encouraging me to stay strong. That really, really helped me. And I didn't feel so lonely, because I'm a single lady, and I was able to talk back to you guys when you comment. I love it when you comment, because it makes me feel like other people are here and you understand what we're going through here. So I do apologize for showing emotions. I really do. Please keep us in your prayers, and I'll continue to pray for you guys in the prepping community. Stay prepared. Take care. zanharrow.com.